Hello. So this is lesson 2 of our mole unit. And today I'm just going to be teaching you how to convert between grams and moles of a substance. So we're going to look at this problem at the bottom of your note sheet. It says if you have 20 grams of magnesium chloride, how many moles is that? So we're going to be setting up a dimensional analysis problem. But first we need to identify, what do we know? What do we not know? What are we looking for? So we know that we have 20 grams. We don't know how many moles that is. That's the point of the problem. So next to mass, you can go ahead and write 20. Next to moles, we're going to put a question mark. And I'll give you a little tip. Anytime you're doing a mole problem that mentions converting something from grams to moles or moles back to grams, as long as they mention grams in the problem, you're going to need to find the molar mass of that substance. So remember, that's what we did here for sodium carbonate. So we're going to find the molar mass of magnesium chloride. So we have 1 magnesium, since there's not a subscript next to it, and we have 2 chlorine. I'm going to look at my periodic table for those masses. You'll see that magnesium's mass, since it's 0.3, I'm going to keep that 0.3. So times 24.3. And then for chlorine, it's 35.45. So I'm going to round that to 35.5. So normally with my rounding, if you have a mass like this, like for oxygen, 15.99, you can go ahead and round that up to a whole number. Same thing here with fluorine. But if you have something followed by a number that's not a 0 or a 9, I typically put 1 decimal place. So that's what I've done here. All right, so I can go ahead and multiply those. I still get 24.3. 35.5 times 2, I get 71, and I'm going to add those together, and I get 95.3. So here's where we do the conversion. Always start with what you know. I know that I have 20 grams. I want to get rid of grams, so I'm going to move it to the bottom. What am I solving for? I'm solving for moles. So what you don't know, what you're trying to find, always goes on top. All right, so this is where I plug in my molar mass. As you know from the previous lesson, this is 95.3 grams per mole, which is the same thing as saying 95.3 grams per 1 mole. So I'm going to put a 1 next to mole, and I'm going to put 95.3 next to grams. So all I'm doing here is I'm multiplying 20 times 1 divided by 95.3. So 20 divided by 95.3 gives me 0.21 moles. So all we did to go from grams to moles is we divided by the molar mass. All right. The next problem, if you turn to the back of your sheet, now we're going to be converting moles to grams. So it says, what is the mass of 5 moles of sodium chloride? So what do we know? We know we have 5 moles. I'm going to write that next to moles. What do we not know? In other words, what are we trying to find? The mass. So we don't know the mass. But like I mentioned earlier, anytime you need anytime you are converting between grams and moles or moles back to grams, anytime you see grams or mass in the problem, you need to find the molar mass. So in this problem, I only have 1 of each. And you might remember from that first sheet that sodium's mass is 23 and chlorine's mass is 35.5. So since we're multiplying both of those by 1, we get the same thing. When we add them together, we get 58.5 grams per mole. So again, using dimensional analysis, you're going to start with what you know. Now I want to get rid of moles, so I move moles to the bottom. I'm solving for grams. I'm going to put grams on top. And the molar mass always goes next to grams. And you always put a 1 next to mole. So all I'm doing here is multiplying. 5 times 58.5. And I get 292.5 grams. So when you are converting moles to grams, you multiply by the molar mass. So what you're going to be doing now, you're going to be doing the back of that worksheet that you just completed yesterday. So you're going to be doing this sheet now. You'll notice that problems 1 through 5, you're going to be converting grams to moles, and then problems 1 through 5 on the bottom, you're going to be converting moles back to grams. So once again, if you have any questions, please let me know.